Hello everyone, you are watching a segment of the Countdown program from October 2, 2023. Today is Monday. See this and other programs in full on the Patreon resource. I'll talk about the themes of the postscript a little later, but now let's talk about the main topic. Against the backdrop of the visit to Ukraine of the head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell, the Kremlin cautiously hopes for a gradual winding down of international assistance to Ukraine. The first visiting meeting of the ministers of foreign affairs of the European Union countries is taking place today in the capital of Ukraine. According to the head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell, the purpose of this meeting is to demonstrate EU solidarity and support for the Ukrainian people. A war with Russia, in his opinion, poses an existential threat, and the European Union must act on this basis. The day before, at his press conference in Kiev, Borrell recalled that the volume of military assistance that the EU provided to Ukraine had already reached €25 billion, and the total amount of assistance including humanitarian and financial amounted to €85 billion. The head of the European Diplomatic Department visited Odessa and Kyiv and met with the new Minister of Defense of Ukraine Rustem Umerov. This was a meeting to outline priorities with the Minister of Defense, to show him what we're doing, what we could do more of, and also to understand the reason why in some cases our help is not perceived as important as it is, concluded Borrell. Aid to Ukraine will continue to come from the United States, despite the technical pause. President Joe Biden has pledged that the United States will continue to help Ukraine, even though its further military funding was excluded from a last-minute congressional budget stopgap. American Senator Lindsey Graham warned the White House against making erroneous steps with a possible stop to aid to Ukraine. Our biggest mistake since the war on terrorism is the withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. To Trump and anyone else, if we cut off oxygen to Ukraine, it will be 10 times worse than Afghanistan. There is Taiwan. Stopping funding for Ukraine is a death sentence for Taiwan. Putin will not stop, the senator said. So there is no point in getting inspired by the Kremlin, especially after the elections in Slovakia, where the populists led by ex-Prime Minister Fico, who said that the Slovaks have their own problems, are more important than Ukraine. It is unlikely that we should expect the arrival of a second Orban in Slovakia, which borders Ukraine. Society in Slovakia is heterogeneous. There are also those who are nostalgic for Soviet times, but the majority understands perfectly well that stability in Ukraine can only come with peace, and peace will come only after Russia's defeat in the war. Because victorious Russia openly declares what will happen next. And the fact that older people and the conservative provinces gave their votes to the populists, all this can hit Slovakia itself, from where young people will flock to other countries, with the words, "Live here yourself with your conservatism." And there is a presidential veto over any dubious whim of the populists. Therefore, the democratic fuse will work. In addition, it will not be easy for Fico to form a coalition government. Time will tell how the situation will unfold. But the Kremlin had better not count on a second Orban. Meanwhile, elections will be held in Poland on October 15. Here the Civic Platform movement, led by its leader, populist Donald Tusk, is gaining strength. Big changes are coming. This is a sign of the rebirth of Poland, Tusk said on Sunday, addressing tens of thousands of demonstrators gathered in Warsaw's Central Square. Watch this and other stories in full on Patreon. Become our patrons right now and look further in this program. At the military airfield in the city of Engels in the Saratov region, where Tu-95 strategic bombers are located, painted planes appeared. Savvy Russians turn on the mode of military cunning. In the Kursk region, from May to early August, the Russians dug new lines of trenches, and in the Bryansk region, from early June to mid-August, they erected anti-tank barriers. This may indicate preparation for combat operations on the territory of Russia itself. Cave brains Dugan and Markov blamed the Latin alphabet for all the failures. In their opinion, the letters V and Z are the main culprits for the defeats of the Rashists. After all, people don't die for the letter Z. Rightist MP Gennady Semygin was accused of almost Russophobia. And there is a suspicion that, in the person of Semijin, the system is attacking the entire party of Sergei Mironov, whose love for Prigozhin's sledgehammer has not been forgotten. Bulgaria stopped its stupid admiration and officially announced the introduction of a ban on October 3. See the postscript in the program. The Kremlin's revisionist policy includes preparations for a full-scale war with NATO, according to the updated national security concept approved by the Latvian Seimas. However, the nuclear tantrums of revanchists have no effect on anyone, and German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock says that the future of Ukraine is in the EU, in our community of freedom, and it will soon expand from Lisbon to Lugansk. Peskov voiced the Kremlin's forecast that fatigue from the war in Ukraine will grow in different countries, including the United States. Moscow's desires are obvious: to exhaust, tire and, quietly, take its toll. VVB. And that is all. View our full programs on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. Hugged everyone. See you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.